So here's a recording of problem number 41 from section 9.3 from our calculus book. It asks us, given this particular Taylor polynomial or Taylor series, can you please tell me what the 12th derivative at 0 is? We recognize that this Taylor series is actually a Maclaurin series and that it's centered at 0.
Yes.
Right? And here's what we know. We know that if we continue this series out, that we're going to get something that looks like x to the 12th
X to the 13th.
divided by
11 factorial.
11 factorial.
That's the 12th order, but that's not the 12th non-zero term. Yes, it is.
Yeah, no.
It's not even the 12th order. Would it be?
It is the 12th
12th
order.
order means it's x to the 12th power, yeah?
It is the 12th order, and it is the 12th term.
Yeah, but it says for the 12th
Well, actually, it's the 13th term because there's an understood 0 plus in there.
Haha!
Oh.
I was right-ish.
Still
Okay.
doesn't make
It's
sense.
still
But
the 12th
Do
non-zero.
you agree that out somewhere,
So C13 actually
is,
is...
wait, let me finish. Do you agree that there's a term out there that's x to the 12th divided by 11 factorial based on what you're seeing here?
Yes.
Probably this is, okay. Now, here's what I know. I know that C12, which is
X to the
1 over 11 factorial, is equal to the 12th derivative, little over aggressive on my parentheses, the 12th derivative at 0 divided by 12 factorial. This is because, I know this because that's the coefficient on the x to the 12th term, and I know that this is the definition of the 12th coefficient. So let's see, can I solve for this?
How is that the definition of the 12th coefficient?
It's part of our chart.
Was it
Part of
our
our chart.
definition of the nth coefficient is the nth derivative at our center divided by n factorial.
Oh,
Why
yeah.
does it change from 11
The x to the
factorial
nth
12
makes it the nth
Well, I'm
term.
just,
Oh,
okay, wait, let's just one question at a time. Are you okay then?
okay, I understand that, yes.
Yeah, we're basing it on that definition. How did it change? Well, Ethan, what I'm doing, I'm just looking at the trend here. Not every single Taylor series that we ever do will always have a 2 factorial under the squared term and a 3 factorial under. We have this general trend with the sine and the cosine and the e to the x, but in this case, what is the relationship between the exponent and the thing on the bottom?
Always one more.
It's always,
Plus 1.
the exponent is always 1 more than the factorial. Or, in this case, we can say that if it's got an exponent of 12, it's got a factorial of 11. So here's my equation that I need to solve for the 12th derivative at 0. Well, let's see. Let's multiply both sides by 12 factorial. I get 12 factorial divided by 11 factorial is equal to the 12th derivative at 0. What is 12 factorial divided by 11 factorial?
12.
Yep. That's just 12. And that's why the answer is E. Yeah.
I'm a little confused why C12, so C when n is 12, you've got 1 over 11 factorial. Wouldn't it be 1 over 12 factorial?
That's where I'm pitched to.
Yeah, I'm not.
I understand the c to the n, I just don't understand why it's, because it says to the 12th derivative. To the 0 derivative would be x.
Okay. Let's see if I can make sense of this for you.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. What do I want to keep and what do I want to throw away? I'll throw it all away for a second. All right. Let me ask you, what is C naught in this particular series?
X.
X.
0.
No.
0.
Zero.
Why is it 0, Brian?
Because we, I don't know how you
The
said
because when you plug 0 in for n,
Oh.
A Taylor series starts with a constant.
Oh.
What is the value of the constant in this case?
0.
0. What is C sub 0?
But it's a Maclaurin series, though.
It's
Taylor
Maclaurin
series,
because-
all Maclaurin series are Taylor series.
But not all Taylor series are Maclaurin.
Right.
Got it.
Yeah. Square and rectangle.
Yeah. All right. So everyone okay with the first coefficient is 0? The first value, if I rewrite this series, the first value in here, the constant value is 0. Let's try again. What is C1?
Uno.
Gotta be x.
No.
Uno. One.
C1 is the coefficient on the x. It is 1.
Well, 1 over 1.
Okay, what do we know about that then?
That's 0 factorial.
We know that using
one
that
over 0
formula that we
factorial.
talked about, C sub n is equal to the nth derivative at the center divided by n factorial,
It's 0 over 0 factorial and then 1 over 1 factorial.
right? Okay, so we could say this is f of 0 divided by 0 factorial. Oh, by knowing that this is a 0, we also know that this function has a value 0 at 0.
Okay.
Now, let me do the same thing. The value of the first derivative at 0 divided by 1 factorial
Is 1.
is 1. What can you conclude then based on this?
First derivative is 0. Or 1.
That the first derivative at 0 is 1.
Okay.
Let me try that one more time. C sub 2 is equal to
1.
1. C sub 2 can also be written as the second derivative at the center divided by 2 factorial. So based on this claim, what statement can you make about that second derivative?
It equals 2.
Think of me multiplying both sides of that equation by 2. Okay, we'll do it one more time. Are you ready?
Sure.
Me too.
Wait, why is it not 1 half?
Why is it not? Okay, C stands for coefficient. 2 on the second order term. Here's my second order term. The coefficient is 1.
Wait, since up there wouldn't it be 1 half though?
It's not 1 half because
It's not 1/2, that's on the third order term.
Oh,
So let's do the third order term. What is the coefficient on the third order term?
1
1
over
1 over 2 factorial.
1 over 2 factorial. I'll just call it 2.
Okay.
Great. What else do we know about the third coefficient?
third derivative
That it's the
over
third derivative at 0 divided by
3
3
factorial.
3 factorial. And could I now solve
Your
what
third
that
derivative has
third
to be 3.
derivative is?
You have to multiply by 3 factorial, which is 6.
It's 3.
It's
So
over
6
2.
divided by 2 is
3.
3 is equal to the third.
We're getting a pattern.
Right?
0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
So I did all of that work, and I said to myself, if I wrote out what the 12th coefficient is, dot, 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 x to the 12th divided by 11 factorial. Oh, okay. So the coefficient of the 12th order term is 1 over 11 factorial. And then I say to myself, could I also use this fact to make a statement? That the 12th derivative at 0 divided by 12 factorial has to equal to that coefficient. And now I can do that same thing. Can I solve for that derivative? Multiply both sides by
It's gotta be 12.
12 factorial. 12 factorial by 11 factorial is, that leads to the 12th derivative at 0 is 12.
Bam.
Okay, that makes
Okay,
sense.
are we, does that make more sense now?
Yes.
Much more.
Okay, great. So that's number 41.
Killed it.
No.